This is Chop. He is a homeless, wild Alaskan dog, and it's my job to train him and our job to find him a home. But it won't be without plenty of challenges. This is reality dog training. Subscribe and click the bell so you never miss an episode. Honestly, I was hoping you guys wouldn't notice, but we haven't even taught Chop how to lie down yet. Either way, Bree did notice, and she did call me out, and here we are. If Chop ever wants to pass as a regular house pet instead of a wild Alaskan beast, he's gonna have to learn a basic lie down. I want to try some different rewards today. I just got these. I like that he's sitting. So I'm just gonna go back to basics here. Good. I'm gonna say good, but I'm gonna not reward after that because his sit's getting real reliable. Yes. Gonna say yes there every time I say yes. I'll follow it up with a reward. Remember, when I first got him, it was clear he had no idea what sit meant. And he struggled with that one, so I think he might struggle with this lie down as well. Usually with big dogs like this, it's a relatively easy thing to lure them into a down, but yes. It's really interesting working with Chop on following a lure because it's a lot less natural for him than it is for other dogs who may have grown up in a human home. I'm gonna go real slow. Now I'm just brainstorming here, trying to keep his interest, and I'm really trying to find that specific motion that will entice him to move in exactly the way that I'm looking for. Oh, yes! I kind of like that he pawed it right there. Whatever, that's kind of what I'm trying to get him to do. Put those legs down. Seriously, in the beginning, you take what you can get. I don't care that Chop had no idea what he was doing there. Chop's a smart boy, and if I keep telling him the things that I like that he's doing, and I do that consistently at the right time, I think he's gonna pick up on this very quickly. This is gonna be really embarrassing if I can't teach Chop how to lie down by the end of this series. All right, maybe we need to try a different method because that's only getting us so far. I think he's telling me he wants to play. PupBox sends you everything you need, including both kinds of currencies that Chop likes, play and food. I'm hoping that I can use a toy to get him a little bit more excited about lying down, but getting him more excited is a double-edged sword. Using toys for lure training, that can be a little bit more challenging than using food, for example. So we'll see how this goes. Yes, good, good. Just right there. So when he's on the right track, I'll just unlock this doing something fun. In a second, I'm gonna let him win, but I'm just trying to build on that to really keep his interest peaked. Yes, there we go. So right there, I'll let him get it, play some tug, let him win. Good. Oh, that tug is pretty new, actually. Good man. Can you let go? Thank you. Sit. I'm not asking for a whole lie down here. I'm basically just doing what I was doing with a treat and seeing if I can get anywhere with that. See how his leg went forward? Yeah. When he's doing something inconsistent with lying down in the way that I like, I'm just gonna remove the toy from him. This will communicate, hey, that made the toy go away. Don't you want this? Easy. Yes, that was better than ever right there. So you can lure with a toy. I mean, I'm just brainstorming right now. It seems to be working. Good, good, yes. See that? That's even closer than the last time. It's so fun to have an adult dog like this who has no idea how to do a basic behavior like this. Yes, good, that was so close. This is definitely one of the toughest cases of teaching lie down I've encountered in a while. Let me try another toy and see what happens. Good. Yes! Lie down. Good man. Ha ha! Yay! So simple. Wow.
That was simple.
Sometimes the best time to go for another success is right after their first one. Let's see if he remembers. Yes! Look at that. Look how quick he learns. 1 rep and then 2 in a row. And you can see at this point how when Chop hits that position, he's really beginning to understand that he gets the toy. Yes! Lie down. Makes a...
that's so good.
Good. Okay, yes! I like how he's even throwing the head tilt in there. Have you noticed that? That's funny. Good man. Yes! Lie down. All right, good place to stop right there. He really worked for that one, didn't he? PupBox sends you age-specific training supplies each month along with a wealth of information on what to focus on in these training cards. Get 50% off your PupBox when you sign up for a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription by going to pupbox.com/Zach and using discount code ZACH. All right, Chop, big day today. We're gonna do some leash training with you, young man. Maybe we'll do some more training around dogs. We'll have to see how your leash training goes. That's your big issue, huh? You have a hard time paying attention when there's dogs. So in keeping with my training strategy, where possible, you know, I love to get a dog playing before a training session. So this has been really good. Like, let him get some of that pent up energy out. Let him have some good social time with Inertia before I ask him to start listening to me. You know, another good thing you can do if you don't have another dog is to play fetch with them, or maybe tug of war, some type of play if your dog is like that. I really think priming your training sessions with some type of playtime beforehand can be really advantageous when you're training a dog new things and after. I love sandwiching training sessions with play sessions. Think about how you feel like after a workout or when you were a kid, after you got done playing, and how enjoyable life felt. You know, you're just in a more positive frame of mind most of the time. So I really suspect that the same is true with dogs. They certainly behave as though it's true. It is impossible to live with a homeless dog for weeks at a time without falling in love with them. So, on to leash walking. So we're off to train Chop in a more normal neighborhood than our rural neighborhood out here. And Inertia is tolerating it. Chop and I have come out to a normal neighborhood today that isn't quite so full of bears like ours is. My thinking is this is probably a more foreign setting than our neighborhood or any other place he's likely been. I mean, for goodness sake, we have paved roads here. We're gonna take a walk here. Do you know that feeling when you first go to a theme park, I don't know, like Disney World or something, and you're walking down Main Street, if you've ever been to Times Square or a big city for the first time, where you just have to just look at everything, like, what is this place? It's probably a lot like that for him. I mean, I would assume so. A huge part of training a dog is being understanding. Look, I'm getting real significant pulling right here. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna let him smell the curb. I'm gonna let him check things out. If he's gotta pee, I'll let him do that. Okay, so he's gonna pee right there. Here's the thing, I haven't gotten Chop's DNA results yet. So I don't know that he's a husky steamroller of Hercules cross, but he definitely feels like he's genetically predisposed to drag me across Alaska. With a dog who is so new to training like Chop, pulling on a leash like this is imminent, and it's acceptable, if you ask me, for this point in his training because he doesn't know better. Walking fast is as natural as having to go pee and poop to a dog. And so I'll walk for a little while with him like this, and then I'll start our training session once he's had a chance to adjust. My strategy for this leash walking session is to make sure that I remain very tolerant while I let Chop get familiar with his new surroundings. And then I'm going to practice his leash training on that semi-familiar ground. I'm just using the same logic that I use when we're at home in the driveway, a familiar place. And then you'll remember we stepped it up and we went down the street in my neighborhood and did a leash walking session. In this training session, Chop's biggest motivator is probably going to be getting to observe his surroundings. So I'm literally going to be using the environment as a reward for Chop. And I brought some different currencies with me too. I've got one of Chop's favorite toys, and I've got some freeze-dried treats in my treat pouch. A dog's attention will often shift between a variety of things at any given moment. Maybe they like a toy at one moment, maybe they like treats at another. So I want to be as prepared as I can during this lesson. Dogs love something as close to fresh meat as possible. I always have treats like this with me. Pupford makes these treats. They've got some incredible deals right now. And seriously, pro tip, it's a great idea to subscribe to these because the last thing you want is to be caught without your dog's favorite currency when you're trying to teach them. I'm gonna have some links to Pupford's awesome stuff in the description below. Probably his first lawnmower at close range. He's not too thrown off by that, but there's something over here that's got his attention. What I like about training in neighborhoods is that you occasionally get mild distractions like dogs behind fences or from inside houses or squirrels walking around. Like, there's a lot of moderate to major distractions in a neighborhood setting like this, as opposed to, say, a more populated city area. It's just a less intense environment, and it allows us to introduce concepts a little bit more slowly so they're more likely to stick. I feel like we've covered, a corner here. We've just walked around the block a little bit. I want to now turn around. I want to see if he continues to pull as we go back over here, over territory we've already covered. Do you see the immediate difference already? Do you see how he's slowing down a little bit? A little bit. Not pulling as much as he was a second ago. Good man. You're doing great. And see, there's a dog barking. I'm gonna keep moving, no need to stop, because we know he's sensitive to dogs, and that's really good. But again, another reason that I love neighborhood settings. We've got lawnmowers, we've got dogs, we've got pedestrians. And we also have nice wide streets here to create distance should we need to. That was an interesting little lap. He pulled a lot when we were going there, but then we turned around and we came back and he performed well. Now, let's go back and let me see how he does. I don't know, it might be too subtle for you to see, but I can definitely tell there's less intense pulling the more we cover the same patch of land here. This is what I like to do for leash training. You might remember recently we did a training session where I was just getting him comfortable with like 25 feet of space back and forth. We're trying to take this to the next level now and let me give him a simulated walk around just a stretch here of neighborhood. It's not a big stretch, but it's not a small stretch either. We're going through Lawnmower Alley again here. Keep moving. I'm gently encouraging him to keep moving here. Leave it, good man. And right now, the reward or the thing that he seems to want most is exploration of the neighborhood. So I'm choosing to really let him enjoy that as much as I reasonably can. Here, good man, okay. There, I was happy to get his eyes on me and then release him to explore. Right now, you see less tension. He is checking things out, but still some tension. Hear the train in the background? All those little things. That's why you have to get out of the house to train. Do you want your ball? Let me see. Here. Yes. Get it. Oh, look. Not interested in his ball at this particular moment. Again, because we've just walked through the gates of Disney World to him. Yes, good man. So what do? How do we reward him in this situation? He is giving me attention. He isn't pulling right now. Look how well he's behaving. I'm gonna let him continue to see what this place is all about. Good man, let's go. I mean, that's really nice. I would love to get through this little stretch with maybe 50% good behavior by the end of this training lesson, but I'm prepared to adjust that up or down either way, depending on how he progresses. But that's kind of my baseline expectation. I would expect that I would need to work with him somewhere between 25 minutes and an hour, because a lot of that depends on if he becomes saturated or if he seems like he's really into it. Look at this. I mean, we're getting some pretty good behavior. It's worth noting, however, we don't have dogs all over the place. That's where he becomes almost completely unmanageable. So I told you it's acceptable for your dog to pull sometimes when you're introducing this concept, but let's talk about what to do during these training sessions when you do want to address that pulling head on. Now, on this attempt, I'm going to move forward, but I am going to be less tolerant of the pulling. In other words, I'm going to encourage him to pay attention to me and keep a loose leash as often as I can. When his eyes come to me, we're gonna go that way. Here. Yes. I'm saying yes, the outcome is let's continue. I wanna make sure I can change directions so that he knows what to do when he does become overwhelmed in future training sessions. Good. See how I'm being very exaggerated with my body language to give him very obvious cues as to how I want him to behave. Tension here. Good. Oh, look at that. I was able to get him to go over here to the side. There's tension, so I'm gonna stop. Chop. This way. Good man. Here. Some workers have his attention in the distance. He's not pulling right now. Good. All right, I'm gonna test to see if he's receptive to currency. Good man, ready? Get it. Good, ready? Get it. All right, that's cool. For the first time, he's receptive to the ball. So right now I've got 2 rewards that are working really well, the environment and a brief interaction with the ball. Yes. Good, so real good example right there of how we're trying to give him things that he really wants, and we're pairing those things with the behavior that we want. In this case, a loose leash. So here he's distracted and he's just looking at people in the neighborhood right now. Here. Yes. Good. Here. Yes. Good man. So sometimes yes means environmental reward. Sometimes yes means play reward, depending on what he's finding reinforcing, not what I want to use. Here. Good. I love this. The ball's behind my back. Yes. Gotta reward that. That was sustained attention right there. You see how we're trying to really appeal to his intellect? We're trying to make him want to stay with us and not pull, rather than correcting the pulling in a way that's viewed as highly unpleasant to him. Good. Give me a circle. Okay, come on. Yes. That's it. He earned that one, didn't he? You have to be tolerant sometimes and insistent other times. It's all contextual, and you, as their guardian, are the best person to understand those times and those nuances. You might have noticed here I've been walking for a couple of minutes, and I've decided to go back to letting him pull a little bit, so I'm not just constantly requiring attention. I want him to have some satisfaction, but it's also worth saying we're in a new patch of street here, so I would expect to see increased pulling. I'm really after the most authentic way to communicate with dogs, and I feel like if you just let them reason through everything that's going on, that's bound to be more long-lasting than a forceful way of getting them to look at you. Hear the barking dog? Good man. That was a really key moment. He heard the dog barking. He started to get really excited and even vocalize a little bit, but I was able to get his attention promptly on me and move away. That was a far cry from what we were dealing with just yesterday. But of course it was easier. The dog was out of sight. But now it may not be so gratifying for him to just keep exploring the same area. So I think I'm ready to head back to our main location. I'm gonna keep that ball hidden, but I'm gonna reward periodically if he gives me this behavior and this focus. Yes. I'm gonna try and make it easier for him to catch. That's one of the reasons I like tug of war with a dog that likes tug. He's more into the squeaky ball, but a tug isn't quite as clumsy when you're trying to reward them. Good man. I'm gonna stop, ask for his attention. Here. Okay, let's go. We're gonna continue on with the walk because he seems a little more intrigued by this area than back there, just to be crystal clear. And I can tell that by his investigating of the ground sense and the air. So he's lagging behind here. Hey, come on. Chop. Let me spend a little bit of time right here. Just 1 sec. It'll take 20 seconds. Here. Good man. Good. Back here. Good. One more, 2 more. Come here. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Good, 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 good. Over here. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yes. Yeah, good. Man, well deserved right there. So that's a really good example. It was hard to communicate with him just in that little patch right there, but I took just a few seconds to really get him excited about paying attention to me. He was looking at my eyes. I was able to get many seconds of very compliant behavior, and then I gave him an amazing reward. And so you can see how if you do this enough, your dog really starts to crave paying attention to you. And right now, since he's so eager, I'm gonna use that to my advantage and really make him earn this ball. You really want to keep things random. Random reinforcement is so effective in bringing about changed behavior. So with each situation, you kind of have to balance this ratio of tolerating pulling and encouraging really good behavior. So in the beginning, they might be pulling 80 or 90% of the time, and you just get little glimpses of good behavior. I've had training sessions like that before, but my goal with him in this training session was by the end of it to be at 50-50, and I'd say we at least accomplished that, but more like, what, 80-20 favorable walking by our last lap. Chop, here, yes. And look, next time we come out here, he's probably gonna need an adjustment period and pull 80% of the time during the first part of the training session before he eventually starts complying. Or maybe he has a major setback, you never know. Learning is not linear. The bottom line is I'm trying to improve that ratio over time with him. Of course, his most significant issue that can be hard to deal with is his conduct when around dogs. And I've determined he needs a lot more desensitizing. So we're off to do that now. This is reality dog training. Subscribe, click the bell so you never miss an episode. Get 50% off your first PupBox when you use discount code ZACH and sign up for a multi-month subscription at PupBox.com/ZACH. And check out all of the awesome training treats, chews, and rewards from Pupford. Use my special link in the description for some crazy discounts. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and get my books too. I'll have all of the links below.